Namaste. My name is Lacey, and I invite you to join me today in this practice that is designed to be the sequel to chair yoga basics. And in this format, we will be exploring the seated version of a practice, not using the chair as a prop. We will be using several props today. But in this practice, we will be similarly exploring postures without using the bearing of weight. So this is a perfect practice for anyone that has issues with an injury to a leg or an ankle where they cannot bear weight upon that leg, or a shoulder issue or injury and any limitations there in that joint, as well as anyone that has issues with lowering their head lower than their heart, and whether it induces vertigo or it's just indicative of anything going on post-surgery or even with ocular issues. So if you happen to fall into any of those categories, welcome, friends. I have you in mind for this practice, and I thank you for your wonderful feedback regarding the latest video I had produced, and hopefully this will be just as helpful for you. So friends, let's begin. We will need 2 yoga blocks. I will be using a yoga strap today, and I will have another folding chair that I will be demonstrating with. So we will be using props, but just not using the chair that we are seated in as a prop. So with that, let's start with a gentle breath practice, feeling the hips centered and sitting bones pressing down into your chair seat. I want you to feel your feet rooting into the floor. Feel them parallel so that the outside edges of your feet line up with the edges of your room. And flare your toes, feeling the inner and outer ball, inner and outer heel pressing down, and you'll feel that rise up the legs. This is an energetic effect. So what you are creating is a foundation of your feet as well as your hips rooting into your chair seat. So with that, let's feel our belly engage. As you're all well aware, the core is engaged to help stabilize and maintain a tall, lifted spine. We want this optimal seated posture throughout our practice, with our shoulders coming down away from our ears and feeling some gentle movement freedom in our neck. So as we keep our chin parallel to the floor, check in and make sure that you can move your chin gently side to side, minimize shoulder tension, as well as feeling that imaginary string pulling up through the center of the crown of your head up toward the ceiling. Your ears are over your shoulders are over your hips, and you are feeling the alignment of knees over your heels. So in this way, we are, as we explored in our first video of this format, that this is like our seated version of Tadasana, like mountain pose, but seated, where all of this alignment comes into play and is the very beginning of the engagement of all of these muscle groups. So friends, let's bring our hands to Namaste. And what I'd like you to do is gently tip your chin down gently towards your chest, making sure, of course, that that is something that you can accommodate. Otherwise, just keep your chin parallel to the floor. And I want you to take a deep breath into this space, that as you exhale, clear out as much tension and anything that is weighing heavily upon you, whether it's in your mind or feeling that weight proverbially upon your shoulders. Let it go for the duration of this practice, if not longer. And so as you breathe into this space, letting go of that which no longer serves you, bring an intention to mind for your practice today. And I want you to know that a practice with an intention for yourself is not selfish. It is an act of self-care and of devotion to your health and wellness. So please, I invite you to make an intention for yourself, as well as a loved one or a situation, even a global social concern, any or all of the above. Take a deep breath in here. And as you gently tip your forehead toward your fingertips, bringing reverence to yourself and your inner divinity, lower your hands and then roll your shoulders down away from your ears. We're going to begin with feeling a breath practice of taking one hand to the belly and another hand to your chest, where you're just feeling that right at the sternum, right where your collarbones, just below that space of the collarbones. So you can even place an index finger and thumb just below those collarbones And I want you to feel the expansion of your belly as you inhale, feeling your belly button move into your palm. And as you exhale, draw your belly back and feeling that as you completely exhale, you're feeling that complete pullback of the belly as far as you can accommodate, pulling in toward your spine, maintaining the lift as well. And now what I want you to do is, with this hand on your chest, right at your sternum, at your heart level, breathe in, not just out into that hand, but I want you to feel the breath moving up as well into that palm that's resting in your heart, so that you're feeling the expansion of your lungs, taking your time to breathe into your natural rhythm, whether you count in this space, counting your seconds of each inhale and exhale, or whether you're just feeling the length and duration, the depth of your breath. Do what best serves you. Taking a few more rounds here. As you inhale, feel that movement out into your hand as well as up into the higher regions of your lungs. And as you exhale, feeling like an elevator, that movement of air coming out. This is a very strong diaphragmatic breath practice. So as you inhale, be gentle. Don't let this be too taxing or challenging. Let it be an exploration, feeling the breath moving up, even imagining that happening. Taking 2 more rounds of breath, that as you do so, even doing this with your eyes closed, you don't need to watch me. You can just feel your breath. This is how we are connecting to the key element of breath during a practice. To also remind ourselves to breathe deep throughout our day when challenge or stress presents itself. One more time, taking another round of breath in here, feeling the mechanical action of the core expanding and contracting, breathing air up into the higher lobes of your lungs, and then exhale, bringing that again, belly in and feeling the air move down. Gently rest your palms into your lap, whether they are cupped up or down. Feel your shoulders coming down away from your ears. And here, feeling in now the natural rhythm of your breath, close your eyes and feel how that deepening breath practice feels just after a few rounds. Checking in with your breath, checking in, did you grip into the jaw? Relax it, move it out side to side. I encourage you to release any movement throughout your practice. And then taking another beautifully deep breath in here. Exhale, blink the eyes open, and we're going to begin the movement part of our practice. So as I had mentioned, we're going to be using a yoga strap for our practice today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unravel that strap, and we're going to gently work into the shoulders and the arms, warming them up. So we will be revisiting the postures that and the movements that we had done in the first sequence of chair yoga basics. So here we're going to utilize the strap to help us stretch again in this region of the collarbones and the chest, the pectoralis muscles, as well as keeping more of this lateral aspect of staying within a proper range of motion for the shoulders if you have a shoulder issue. So with that, holding your strap and gently extending the arms forward while you're gripping your strap. Try not to grip too tightly, but feel, I like to place it right in between my thumbs and my index fingers and wrap my fingers around it. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears, and again, feeling the belly firm as you keep lifting in your chair. So now, as you feel your beautifully tall spine, what we're going to do is gently take another breath in here. Now you're going to work your hands along that strap, and you're going to bring the strap now across that section where you had your palm when you were doing your breath practice. Take your hands along that strap. My hands are out of view, but you can see the expansion. I want you to think of like the end of a marathon or of a foot race, your chest hitting tape. Imagine you're winning that race. And as you feel the expansion across your chest, feel that gentle press forward where you're really presenting forward the chest, the heart center. Now, as you pull your arms down gently, this is activation of our arms, feeling, yes, the shoulders, but also the biceps and the triceps too, working with the breath. Take another deep inhale here. And now you're going to lower your arms and now hold the strap, continue to hold the strap, and now hold either the chair back or the seat of the chair, whatever you can accommodate. I'm going to hold on to the back of my chair, and then gently I can bring my chest a little bit more forward. And as I gently pull my arms back, again, you can release the strap here if it's uncomfortable, or continue to feel that action of really feeling your chest pressing forward into that strap. So as you, again, check in with the shoulders, check in with the neck, move it side to side, take a deep breath in here, maybe exploring the gaze, taking up your sight toward the space where the wall meets the ceiling. Take another breath in here. Beautiful. And then releasing that forward, letting the strap go. And we're just going to leave that to the side. We will be using our blocks for most of this practice as well as the other chair. So again, friends, I'm giving you several variations and modifications depending on what works best for you. So with that, we're going to begin once again with a twist. As we've continued with this deep belly breathing, we've activated our core, our midsection, which is where all movement emanates from. And in a twist, twisting always comes from the belly, not from the shoulders. They are along for the ride, if you will. So what we're going to do is gently take one arm forward, draw that shoulder down away from the ear. Again, if you're just working with shoulders at shoulder height, perfectly fine. I want you to extend all the way through the length of your fingertips. If you can take that arm a little bit higher, that's perfectly fine wherever you're at. I don't expect you to take it all the way up toward the ceiling. Notice, did the belly kind of pull back? Bring it in, feel tall and lifted, press the sitting bones more firmly into your chair seat. As you exhale, draw that hand down to the opposite thigh. From here, roll the shoulder down, holding on either to the seat or once again to the back of the chair. You're going to gently twist and gaze toward that shoulder or the space right to your side. Again, as you inhale, get taller. As you exhale, twist a little deeper. And then as you inhale, coming back center, we're just going to switch hands. Once again, maybe one shoulder is perfectly fine with elevating higher. Again, work within your range of motion. As you lift up, settle the shoulder down. Beautiful. From here, we're going to exhale. Take that hand to the opposite thigh. Once again, reassess with that free hand, having a hold of something to help accommodate tall lifted spine and twist from the core. Breathing in here. Settle the shoulders. Can you, with that exhale, pull the belly in and twist a little deeper? Beautiful. As you gently come back center from here, roll the shoulders down. And we're gently going to come into our first series of cat-cow, using the chair first or wide feet. So I gave the options of staying here for a seated wide leg cat-cow, where again, depending on which limitations you're working with, and we all have limitations, friends, so honor your body wherever you're at. You're getting movement and breath no matter what. So this is one version of seated cat-cow, wide leg version. There is the traditional just keeping the knees together, hands against your kneecaps, rounding up and pulling away. Again, I'll demonstrate how my spine rounds. That when I like to think of a Halloween scaredy cat for that image, that as I pull against, I'm rounding up into my mid-back. And it doesn't look as dramatic, but you can feel this action of flexion and then extension, that as I gently pull against my kneecaps, I'm extending the crown of my head away from my tailbone. You'll feel it press into your chair. So continuing on with 2 rounds of that. Your other version is again with the chair if you need that. Again, I'm going to bring this folding chair into view. So I can use the back of this chair as well, if that's still a little too low for you, and you can round up from here, feeling the gentle flexion extension of your spine. So whether you're working with the back of the chair, or again, working with either hand position of resting your hands on your thighs or your kneecaps, that is your version of cat-cow. And then from here, we're going to feel neutral position, once again, feeling that tall lifted spine, and now entering puppy dog. So we're going to link all these together after introducing these versions. So with puppy dog, we will be using that chair. And what I'm going to do is turn my seat around. And this is one version where I'm going to place my hands onto the seat in front of me. I will be widening my legs and then placing my palms here. And as I really press my palms into the chair seat, again, we can work with the back of the chair too. I'm demonstrating from here that as I press my hips back and I press my palms into the chair seat, I can roll my shoulders away from my ears. Not this. We want to do that. And then let my head hang gently, chin toward the chest, and push my hips back. The other action is, again, another version, is to use the back of that chair, extend the arms. We want full extension of the arms. The arms are always straight, but again, we want to feel that nice Gentle lift as we come into cat-cow. Let the head hang. Push the hips back. And this is a seated version, again, of puppy dog. Also known as downward facing dog if we use the floor. So again, using what works for you. I'm going to turn my chair around so you're going to see me work with cat-cow and then puppy dog as we come into this gentle sequence. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me working with my props. So friends, as I try to get as much of my props in view, I want you to again feel as you start with your seated version of Tadasana. This is our seated version of Surya Namaskar A, of our sun salutations. We're going to have our feet planted into the floor. And if it's appropriate for you, you can absolutely take an inhale, take the arms up from the sides, if you will, up, or even just laterally taking them forward, bringing them forward to like the space in front of you as if you were holding a block right in front of you. Gently as you exhale, take your hands to your kneecaps, or you're doing the wide leg version of cat-cow. From here, working with that, again, you can use your chair back, the extra chair you have, rounding one more time, flexion and extension, and then for puppy dog, widening, taking your hands to your chair, and again, I'm going to push that away a little bit further, move my hips back, and now you can see my hips moving back with my legs wide, and my knees are tracking toward my toes are turned out, and I'm letting my head lower. Now again, I'm going with the seat. If that's still too low for you, friends, you're going to work high with the back of the chair. So now my arms are here, and I can just work my puppy dog from here. So as I lower my head down, it's not going past my heart, not going lower than that, but I'm feeling the engagement of my arms. As you can see, once again, this is where I don't want my shoulders. I'm going to roll them away. Now, as you can tell, I'm firming the tricep, the outer upper arm, and on this arm, you can feel the bicep turning on. So as we press the amount of the index and the pinky fingers in our palms, pressing them into either the top of that chair or into the seat of that chair, depending on where you're working, you can feel the engagement of your arms. This is what is key for downward facing dog or even puppy dog, which is what we're doing. These are the key actions of the arms. And then letting that head hang again. Let it be free. Take another breath in here. Gently lifting up. You're going to use that chair to help bring it closer to you. Once again, you can even come to wide legs, rounding up for cat-cow, or just bring the legs back in. I want you to explore maybe both options. You have so much available to you by using the props. And of course, on one day, one practice may feel better in that variation than the other. So now from here, coming back to our reset, our Tadasana, what we're going to do for our Cobra pose, our standing Cobra, if you will, or seated Cobra. So we're going to take the hands to the back of the chair, shoulders down, express the heart forward. Maybe you gaze up once again. I want you to feel that stretch across the chest, across the collarbones, across that heart center. Breathe in, and of course you don't have to gaze up, you can just gaze forward. Beautiful. Releasing that one more time. We're going to go through that and come into our seated version of Warrior 2. So as we come into one more time, seated Tadasana, we can inhale the arms up, settle the shoulders down. Beautiful. And now from here, working into your version of cat-cow, whether you're coming into use of the chair or use of your knees, or the wide leg version. I'm going to use my knees here. One more time, rounding into that mid back, feel that flexion, and then extension of my spine. And then I'm going to widen my feet, widen my knees, and now I'm going to place my hands on my chair seat and work with puppy dog here. So I'm going lower, of course. Those of you that are able to accommodate going a little lower, please do so. Again, we're not bearing weight into the feet. We are really working with the spine and the hips, pressing back, as well as engaging the arms. So breathing in here. As you take one more breath in, lift the head, lift the chest. Again, use that chair to help pull the arms in towards you. Coming back, maybe you stay with those wide legs, round up for cat, and extend for cow. And then we're going to bring the knees in, hold on to the back of your chair, gently roll the shoulders down, express the heart forward. One more seated cobra, and then gently release. From here, we're going to come forward into our chair. I'm just turning my chair seat around. So now, as we come into Warrior Two, this is what we explored in the first video of Chair Yoga Basics. So, what I'm offering you is turning side saddle. And what we're going to do is, before we do that, let's get a block nearby. So having a block nearby you, just maybe under your chair, what I'm going to do is swivel my hips. And so as I hold on to the back of my chair, what I'm making sure of is that my front knee is lined up right over my heel. And if that foot is floating up, I want you to use a block, maybe use another block to place your foot underneath that, or even a cushion or pillow. And then you're going to extend this leg back. Now, I don't mind if you don't have that tightrope alignment of the front heel lining up with that back arch. What I want you to feel is the hip opening out. So again, this is a non-weight bearing version of Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. And your thigh is completely supported on this chair. But what I want you to feel is, if you can take that hand off the back of the chair and maybe just hold onto your chair seat, draw the shoulders down, and now from here, take your hand to that back hip, pull it back just a little bit more open. But remember, as we're opening up the hips, like forward, away from us, see if you can move laterally once again with hands, just keeping that same line of the shoulders, and draw them down, and then gaze over your front middle finger for Warrior Two. The caveat is that we tend to sink down. Let's lift up here. Beautiful. Breathe in here. Again, if you need to keep the hands down and just work the posture this way of focusing on the foundation of the legs, that's perfect. But another variation here is taking that back hand to your back hip. You're going to gently bring your palm and either lift up, but if you have a shoulder issue, friends, I'd rather you take the hand to the heart center and then draw that shoulder down, and then maybe gaze up, breathing in here. If you had that palm gently lifted up, beautiful, set it back, coming back to our Warrior Two version with the arms extended. As you exhale, gently take them down. We're going to switch sides, swivel by bringing the knees to match first, and then bring the hips forward and switch sides. So once again, having a block for that foot if it's lifted. We will be using the block to hold on to for another variation after we do this side. So again, be safe and secure. As you're setting yourself up, make sure that that knee, again, is over the heel, and it can be very supported. You can even have the inside of that knee touching, making contact with your chair. Now, as you extend that leg back, it's going to depend on how open the hips are and how much you can accommodate. Just letting that leg extend, because we do want it as straight as we can. But again, if you had to have a bend in that knee, that's perfectly fine. What we're focusing on here is the lift of all four sides of the waist and the heart center. Now, as we come into this, trying it with the arms, again, one version, one side may work better for this. If not, then you modify it and make it work for you. Beautiful. Breathing in here. Now remember, we're not sinking forward. We're staying directly over those hips. And now from here, take that back hand to that back hip. And then this is where you choose to lift up and extend for Warrior Two. Or if that's not working for your shoulder, you're going to gently take that hand to that heart and then just extend maybe the gaze up or just look forward. So as you draw the shoulders down, you're feeling the expansion across the heart, the opening and the lift. Take another breath in here. And then if you had the arm extended, friends, in this way, then gently lower that down, coming back to Warrior Two. All of us, gaze forward, and then from here, drawing the arms down, gently bend that back knee, bring it in, matching the knees first, and then turning. And now we're going to do that same posture, Warrior Two, but utilizing the blocks just to check out using this prop for another variation of the arms, if you so choose. So again, they're all suggestions in this sequence. Please take what works for you. Once again, we're going to turn, place your foot upon the block. If it's lifted, I like to use the back of the chair to help set myself up, and just get into your position carefully, mindfully. And then when you do have that alignment, pull that hip back, beautiful. And now from here, grab your block. I'm going to place it here on my thigh first, get my shoulders down. And now I'm going to gently take this same hand to my same thigh, lifting up, feeling that work. And now from here, I'm going to extend this block forward. So hand is bracing here, or if you need to, you can hold on here, but I'm going to brace my front thigh. And now I'm going to open this block up and now gaze toward that block. So of course my arm is cut off here, but I'm holding my block and gazing at it. If you don't have that block in your hand, that's fine. You're just opening that hand out and gazing toward the thumb. Again, if you need to maybe bring that into more of an L shape with that arm, perfectly fine. How's the core? Is it engaged, or are you leaning forward like your teacher? Take another breath in. Beautiful. We're going to keep that arm moving forward laterally. Think of it along the horizon, bringing that block back down gently. So again, even with a shoulder issue, we can still work the muscles of the arm safely. You're going to hold onto your chair, bend that knee in, retract that back, and take your time getting into the other side. So here we go, friends. Now you know where you're going with the block. Maybe this side, again, you can accommodate it. Set it up gently, carefully, mindfully. And so as we come into this, we will be coming into a nice forward fold 2 with our chair. So again, set it up. Get that hip open. That's the whole deal here. And then supporting that thigh with your chair. From here, block onto the thigh. If you need to still hold on to that chair, awesome. I'm going to just take my same hand to my front thigh. As I draw my shoulders down and feel that lift, extend my arm forward, block pointing forward, and now I open out that arm gently along the horizon and take it back. I'm going to take my gaze back. Now again, we're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back. We're trying to keep that vertical lift. Gaze back if it agrees with your neck, or you can just gaze toward the side. Take another breath. Beautiful. Move it along the horizon gently. Fully come back to that extension. Gently bend that hand. Take that block down to the thigh. Bend your back knee. Bring it back in. Swivel the hips. Beautiful. And now from here, a cat-cow and puppy if you'd like to release. So with that, let your hands come to your knees, round up, or you could do the wide leg version of cat-cow. Once again, I'll be using my chair seat for puppy. So as I'm turning after your second round of cat-cow, I'm going to gently extend myself into puppy dog. I'm going to feel my hips press back. Let my head gently hang in between my arms. After 2 rounds of breath here, friends, maybe moving that head gently no, and then yes, checking in with your neck. Shoulders rolling away, hips pressing back. Take another breath in here. And then lifting up, taking your hands up to that chair back to help you lift up. If you were that low with the chair seat, again, always work with the high back of the chair for puppy dog if you can't lower than your heart center. So now from here, coming into the last final peak pose, if you will. So besides the warrior sequences, we'd like to get in a nice forward fold as well. And so as we use our props to explore that, what I'm going to do is take both my blocks, and what I'm going to do is once again bring my chair in, and I'm just going to demonstrate that. I'm going to place my blocks onto the seat. So as you see that, I have my blocks on the seat, and I'm going to start from here. So what I'm going to do is widen my feet once again. Your blocks will be in front of you with the chair. Now you can start them on even high or medium is what I have them on, or low. And what I'm going to do is bring myself, and especially if you can't lower that head lower than the heart, you can hold on to the back of the chair, rest your forearms down, and bring yourself forward and begin to lower down this way. Or optimally, if you can hold the seat of the chair, or without the blocks even, you don't need them possibly, hold on to that chair and let yourself fold forward. Let the weight of your head come down, but mostly feeling your heart coming down. So of course there's different levels here. So you can even just hang here, make a stack of blocks that work for you, lowering down gently you're gonna hold this for a bit. So as I turn my chair just to come into that comfortable version for me. Again, a lot of use of props here, friends. That's the key. So thank you for your patience and indulgence. As I set up my blocks, again, I widen my feet. This is a wide leg forward fold. And I can either place my head and my arms onto the blocks here, but if that's still too low, again, you can raise them up and make it work for you. So what we want to feel is the extension of our spine folding, but we also want to feel our shoulder blades moving down our back toward our back pockets. So I'm going to remove my block so I can demonstrate even further that as I lower my head down, I'm going to push my hips back and bring my center of gravity more forward so that as I draw my shoulders forward over my elbows, which is what you'll see here, I can let my head gently hang. Now, of course, friends, if this is not applicable to you, you're going to stay higher. That's where the blocks come in. And you can even just stay here with your palms onto your chair seat and just let yourself hang here gently. You're going to feel that stretch in the hamstrings, in the backs of your legs. And again, I want you to feel your shoulder blades moving down your back, drawing your heart forward. It's still a very effective lengthening pose. Take another breath in here. And then as you gently inhale, lifting up, bringing the hips forward, we are going to come into our gentle closing stretches. So with that, as we come into our last little stretch for the legs, we're going to focus on a side saddle. Once again, we're going with that theme of turning, shifting our hips in the chair. And what I'm going to have is, once again, if you had that block to place your foot upon when you turned in your chair seat, you're going to need that again to prevent the foot from lifting. But what we're going to feel is now, if this is appropriate, I don't need the block in front, and I may want that block, though, to support my knee as I come into this lunge stretch with the chair. So just like our Warrior Two, where we extended that leg back, we're going to keep this back knee bent as well, so we can feel that gentle release of that front hip flexor, the front of the quadricep muscle. So now as you keep the body nice and tall, if the knee is starting to get cranky, and you can even take that leg back further if you'd like, just to feel where that stretch works for you. Maybe you need the support of a block underneath the knee. So again, it's a little out of view, but for example, if you need that block underneath your knee, wherever it works for you, if it's not feeling comfortable to free float that knee and let gravity draw that down further. So again, breathing in here. And then gently releasing that knee back. It's really important to match the knees, swivel the hips gently, and then coming to the other side. So once again, now we're coming to that front of the quadricep. We are getting used to just letting one hip come off, trusting the use of our props. Again, one side may be different, so I'm using, again, my knee, for example. I'm not letting it go all the way toward the floor, so I'm using that block to rest upon and then feel that length, the stretch right here. Now again, you can always move that leg further back and then get more of that stretch, but again, keeping the nice tall lift of the spine. Take another breath in here. And then gently bringing that back forward and then swiveling. And now from here, we're going to come into one more gentle twist. This time, if you'd like, if you can accommodate it, cross a leg. If not, you're just going to keep your legs together. But I'm just demonstrating this as another variation. Inhale, the arm up. Remember, your limitation where you need to be, your range of motion. You're going to take that opposite hand. I am going to switch because I took the wrong arm up. Exhale, gently take that hand to that knee. Opposite thigh is what we're going toward. Take that free hand to the back of the chair or to the side of the chair. And you're going to feel a little bit more of a twist in the belly as you do this. Gazing to the side. And then releasing that after another breath. So as you switch, maybe do a little butterfly wing flap. Taking your time as you cross or not. Remember, as you come into this, If this isn't accommodated, you can just do exactly as we did in the beginning, which is the legs together. Inhale. As you take that hand to that knee or to the opposite thigh, gently take that free hand back. Remember, twist from the belly, not from the shoulders. Breathing in here. And then gently coming forward, releasing. We're going to finish once more with that butterfly wing flap, but now I'd like to introduce some wrist stretches for you. So this is, again, something that's designed for all of us. These stretches I incorporate in almost all of my classes because we are constantly using our hands with devices, especially if we're working on a computer, typing, everything that we do with our hands, the wrist can really use a good stretch. So this is what I call stop in the name of love. My arm is extended, my palm is facing forward. I'm just like going to pull my fingertips back. Fingertips are facing the ceiling. You're going to feel this all the way up the arm. Take a breath in here, settle the shoulders down, and then gently rotate your palm down and gently pull your fingers back towards you. Yep. Breathe in here. And then I want you to pretend you are opening a doorknob. And just get that little rotation in the wrist. And now we're going to gently lower that hand, come onto the other side, stop in the name of love. Have your fingertips facing, again, reaching up toward the ceiling, palm facing away. Gently pull those fingers back towards you, but remember, never pass that edge of intensity. So if you have a wrist issue, and then rotate that palm down, fingers facing the floor, gently pull that back. Feeling, again, the work all the way, really feeling that energy all the way up the arm. And then after your next breath, release that, rotate the palm. And now the next part of the wrist stretch, you're going to place your forearms, backs of your arms, onto your thighs. You're going to open your palms. From here, make a fist. Gently pull your fists up. You're not moving your arms. You're just pulling your fists up. Release them. Open the palms. You're going to do that 2 more times. Make a fist. Lift up the fist towards you. Gently release, open 1 more time. Yep, this is a very effective wrist stretch. Be gentle with yourself. Open, release, and then as you gently come up, 1 more time, I'm going to roll the shoulders up to the ears and then down. Let's take 1 big open arm inhale. And then as you exhale, gently bring your hands to Namaste, prayer position at the heart. Gently lower your chin towards your chest, close your eyes. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this practice today, for joining me, allowing me to serve you through this video, which I hope it has. I wish you blessings of health, abundance, and happiness. The light in me recognizes and honors that same brilliant, beautiful light in each and every one of you. I humbly bow before you. Namaste.